Hi everyone, I'm Edoardo, and today you're going to join me in a very special trip. We're going to start from scratch and build an entire light setup using only Godox lights, turning this humble workshop in the best version of itself. Then we're going to have some fun shooting some documentary-style footage of our trusty luthier Alberto. Of course, during our way through this day of shooting, I'm going to share with you some tips and tricks about the magical world of lighting. After all, cinematography is just a game of lights. Let's start from the basics, shall we? As you might expect, filmmaking doesn't mean to press the record button and hope for the best. It is much more complicated, and unfortunately, there's no such thing as a rules book. Every scenario is different, and every video we shoot is unique in its own way. I know, this might seem a little dramatic, but I'm here to give you a very powerful tool you can use in every situation, a mindset, or a checklist, if you will, a chain of logical action you can use to break down every huge obstacle in your way into small, manageable issues, starting from step 1, understanding your shooting location. One thing everyone should understand about cinematography is we don't light people, we light spaces, which means it is crucial to understand the characteristics of the location, starting from the dimension of the room. This workshop is quite small, which is great for us. We are a small production team. We want to keep things as simple as possible, and this space can be lit with only 3 lights. Now we can focus on the natural sources of light at our disposal, for example, the big window right here. First, we want to control the natural light coming in using some black cloth. Then, we want to put our lights outside that window in order to fake the light from the sun. Now you may say, why not use the natural light instead? Well, because nature really enjoys to do pranks, and because we want this sunset to never end. In our shooting situation, control is everything. Now, the position of our subject. And in our case, it's pretty easy, because Alberto is going to work right here. Which means we always want our camera to stay behind him, putting Alberto between our point of view and the main source of light. This is a standard technique used in almost every movie. It creates contrast in the image and also helps to separate the subject from the background. Now that we have every information we may need, it's time for the fun part. Step 2. Choose your lights. If we want to fake a sunset, we need a sun, and our sun is going to be the Godox M300Bi color. It is powerful, it is bright, and it also has color temperature control. And that's great, because we can set it at 2800 Kelvin and have a warm tone on camera without having to mess around with the white balance. And it also can be controlled via app, which is perfect. We don't want to hit Alberto directly with this light. We want to illuminate the room as if the sun was setting on the horizon. Our gaffer Tommaso is now ready to turn the M300 on, and in Italy, when we want the gaffer to turn on a light, we just scream "Biasin apri tutto smarmella!" And I think it is poetic. Voila, our main source of light. Time for the key light. Wait, key light? Edoardo, you just said that the main source of light is the window, so the key light must be the M300, right? Well, yes, but actually no. The M300 is setting the tone for the room, but we also want to see clearly our subject. That's why Tommaso is setting up another light, the Godox F200Bi color, which is exactly what we need. This is a new model from the Knowled series by Godox, and we find it amazing. It is super thin, it is surprisingly powerful, and it also has color temperature control, making it extra versatile. And if there's something I've learned doing this job, is that versatility is very important. This light can be controlled with the Godox app too, which means I can do this. I love it. I can go on all day. We are going to put this light right over Alberto in order to cast a soft light over him. Just a gentle touch. The color temperature is slightly less warm this time, to create separation in the image. By putting the F200Bi color over the head of our artisan, we can save the shadows the M300 is making on the desk, because if we move this light on one side of Alberto, the resulting image would be flat and not really interesting. It is very important to find balance between light and shadow, and we are not over yet. While Azzurra, our set designer for the day, is trying to make this place look even better, I have a last little concern. As you can see right now, the scene is still quite flat. We need to separate the Liuteria from the background a little more, and to do exactly that, we need a backlight. We are going to take the SZ150R and place it outside the workshop's door in order to cast some light from there. But we want it to be concentrated on our subject, and that's why Tommaso is setting up a spotlight attachment to precisely direct the light. Why use the SZ150R? Well, its name is a tongue twister and it's very funny to say. And it is an RGB light, making it very versatile, and I always bring it with me. But this time we're going to take advantage of, say with me, color temperature control. Seriously, CCT is an amazing feature to have. Now we have a 3-light setup, but it is not what you may see in an interview or a music video. As I said before, every video is unique, and that gives you the possibility to free your creativity. I wanted a warm sunset, and I think we are really close to get the look I wanted. Time for the next and last step. Step 3. Final preparation. Now that the lights are positioned, we can try to enhance our scene by adding some details. We want this room to look both natural and magical. We are going to remove the bulb from this desk lamp and replace it with one we can control via Bluetooth. This little touch motivates the light over the desk and also makes the whole scene more realistic. Do you find that window attractive? I do not. I don't want to see outside, and the light coming in is a little bit too harsh. That's why we always bring a curtain with us. This adds a diffusion layer to our fake sun and also makes the room feel real. One last thing, we can try to make everything more interesting by using some haze. This is another common technique, which is not mandatory, but that helps to create beautiful and interesting images. It seriously gives a tone to the scene by removing some contrast, defining the direction of the light, and making the highlights glow. Now we are ready to shoot, and as you can see, this room changed quite a bit. I hope you enjoyed this little trip we had while building this setup. This process might seem a little long, but it's only a matter of practice. You have to give yourself time to try new things and experiment with your equipment. After all, it takes practice to success in the game of lights.